What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Marissa Automotive Group. Marissa is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Marissa has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Marissa team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, it's Marissa with STL Bucket List. Make sure you tune in to episode 108 with Caiti with Jasper Paul. You'll see me back this week with our special little visitor, Miss Mila. Hope you guys like the episode.
For 50 years, Bankhead and Firth Orthodontics has been proudly serving the vibrant St. Louis community. As a family-owned and operated practice since day one, the commitment to excellence and personalized care runs deep. They believe in giving back to the wonderful people of St. Louis who have entrusted them with their smiles. Step into the 5 locations across St. Louis with modern offices equipped with the latest orthodontic technology. Their 3 amazing doctors are dedicated to providing top-notch, innovative treatments tailored just for you. Join us in celebrating 50 years with Bankhead and Firth Orthodontics, where your family becomes a part of theirs. Schedule your free consultation today and let them help you achieve the confident, gorgeous smile that you deserve. Because in St. Louis, your smile is your legacy.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
What's up, St. Louis? Welcome back to the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host back. I don't know how often I'll be back, but I'm back today for an episode of the STL Bucket List Show.
I think this is episode 109.
Wow.
109?
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
108, regardless, 100 plus episodes.
Couple episodes without me, so Luke's been
our
holding it
numbers
down.
have been dropping. Our engagement has been dropping since Marissa has
He
been
needed
off.
me back. He needed me back, guys. So.
I seen the report and I was like, dang, dude, I don't know if that's just because it's me or if it's not because of you. So we do have a very special guest. But first, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. The show's been continuing to grow. We just really focus on just highlighting people that make St. Louis special and the events in the city. I got to shout out our sponsors, Marissa Automotive Group. Got our family set up with a brand new car. It's been a blessing to get the car seat in the back.
It just feels nice to drive around safe with my babes and not, these crazy drivers out here. I feel a little bit more secure, so thank you.
And then when we get home, we got to enjoy our citywide light from Four Hands Brewing Company. They just dropped this light beer, low calories. It's absolutely delicious. Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis for being amazing sponsors of our show. And of course, the St. Louis Closet Company, Bankhead and Firth Orthodontics, and Tecovas, our newest sponsor. Tecovas Western Boots. So got to get those country concert seasons, got to get those Western boots in. But we have Caiti, Carrow, Chaney in the studio today. Caiti has an amazing PR firm right here in St. Louis. We've been blessed enough to work with you guys over the last few years. And you guys have exposed us to so many amazing things in St. Louis. Yes. And people just don't realize the people behind the scenes that do all these amazing events. People were just at it this weekend at Schlafly Oyster Festival. So, Caiti, before we get started, I want to hear a little bit about Jasper Paul PR, and then I want to get into your story as well. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. It's so fun. Obviously, we've become good friends, I feel like, over the last few years. So this is fun to be here and weird because, as you said, we are usually behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and
this is your second podcast this month.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Weirdly enough, I recorded with another friend as well and messed that one up because he was like, okay, these are the questions we're going to go through. And of course, I didn't prep. I'll prep my clients all day, but didn't prep it for myself.
That's facts.
So I totally flubbed the end of his podcast. But for clients, so for Jasper Paul PR and Marketing, started the company 7 years ago.
You just had a birthday.
Yeah, just
An
had our
anniversary,
birthday, March 1st. Birthday sounds more fun.
Yeah.
So March 1st was our 7-year anniversary. And we specialize in the hospitality industry. So all of our clients are restaurant, hotels, attractions, beer, spirit brands, just anything that can kind of fall in that hospitality space. And that's by design. It's what we know. It's what we love. It's what we spend our money on.
Right.
I just always say we just kind of recycle what clients pay us back into their
real.
businesses.
That's real.
We're a team of 13 now.
Growing.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. That's a
And
corporation.
looking for more for the summer, right?
Yeah. It's kind of starting to play with some freelance roles and building out our social team a little bit more. We have a team of, that kind of specialize on more of like the PR partnership programming side of things, and then social media, which, as you guys know, is a really important part, in which we've had the privilege of getting to work together. But for the social side of things, we really like to lead that kind of strategy and copy and having content, and work a lot with content partners to help build that out. So finding that's becoming kind of a crucial evolution of the business. So for a lot of clients, we do the bigger PR programming type plans, but then we also supplement that with social. So so we've just kind of grown over the years. Our office is in Webster Groves, and it's been a really great ride, and very thankful for our clients and our team, and just being able to talk about all the amazing things happening in St. Louis. I always say, we kind of have to, at least on a national level on the PR side of things, we almost have to sell St. Louis before we even sell our clients.
Yeah.
So being able to be that resource for national media and say, hey, here's all the cool things happening in our city is a privilege for sure.
You've done a great job with that. I've seen articles come out, one recently, the Thrillist one. I think that was just peppered with a lot of the people that you guys work with. That was awesome to get that national recognition. But before work, nobody wants to talk about work on the podcast. We want to hear about your story. We like to do the roots to St. Louis, where you're from, growing up, kind of a little bit about your family, and then kind of lead into college life and all that. So.
Well, I'm from Alton, Illinois, right across the river. So, but my roots in St. Louis, when growing up, I didn't come to St. Louis that often. I was almost like a tourist to St. Louis. We'd come in for a Cardinals game, or to go to the zoo, or go out to dinner on the hill. So, but I loved growing up in Alton. I grew up very much, living outside and
That's fun.
spending summers, on ponds and the river and. But the name of my company is Jasper Paul PR, which is my two grandfathers, and the Jasper side of the family just centered around food. And so, those are my childhood memories are just, family barbecues and family parties. And my dad's one of 9, so I have 30 plus first cousins.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy big family parties. And if you haven't been to Alton, it's a beautiful day trip. Go up to Grafton. Hang out on the river. So I loved growing up in the St. Louis area, and then went to college at University of Illinois in Champaign, and then lived in Chicago for 7-8 years after that. And then just kind of was feeling the pull back to St. Louis. I was single and didn't have any roots in Chicago, and all my friends were getting married and moving to the suburbs, and I just didn't want that life. So decided to move back to St. Louis and really live in the city for the first time. I lived kind of Dogtown area, and just immediately fell in love with all the neighborhoods.
Living
and
your best life, the
yeah,
bars, the food.
and every neighborhood, a lot of people describe St. Louis this way, but the kind of pockets of neighborhoods, I feel like makes it feel so special because every community kind of has their own feel. And just my workout would be morning walks on the hills of Dogtown, which if you haven't like gone into the neighborhood of Dogtown, like
those are big hills.
a good workout.
Those are big hills.
And and I loved the city and exploring, and we would go on, all of our friends would just like bike around the city, and I loved it. And that was kind of like how I really fell in love with St. Louis. And when I lived in Chicago, I worked most of my career there for a hospitality PR firm there. So that's what I was doing. So getting to move home, I got to just kind of transition that work to St. Louis.
With them too.
Yeah. Okay. So when I moved home, I was still working with them and worked for them for about a year and a half as an independent contractor. Mind you, this is 7 years ago, so the really concept of like working remotely didn't exist. So I did transition to that kind of independent contractor role, and then just started building a network in St. Louis, and started hearing from people saying, we'd love your help, and saw the opportunity to build a business here, and worked with a few St. Louis clients at that point. Worked with Gerard Kraft of Niche Food Group and Schlafly Beer, two of whom I still work with today, which is amazing. And then started seeing that there was an opportunity for business, and decided to start my own thing. And my previous agency supported me doing that, which does not happen.
Yeah, in this industry, I'm sure it's like, I don't think so.
Luke laughs. Doesn't happen usually.
You probably did it the right way, though.
I did.
Yeah, there's ways that
there's like a non-compete or something.
Yeah, there's ways that people can do it, but it does hurt. But it's like, you want to support entrepreneurs.
Right? Yeah, and how we arranged it was I essentially bought out my clients, so they continued to work with me, and I split the retainer with them for
a long period
for a year, and they gave me support from Chicago, so it was great. It was like I was able to like slowly transition those accounts and keep all my media contacts too, which was really important. So I am like forever grateful for them to allowing me to do that, and I think we did it the best way. But it was hard to start it's not like I could hire and then hire a bunch of people, because it was this kind of like slow growth right out of the gate. So
and that was 2017, March
2017.
I'm trying to think when I met you. I remember where I met you was at Adira on the patio.
Oh my gosh, yep.
And I'm trying to think how many years ago that was. If that was like
probably
2020.
I mean, it was before pandemic, probably.
So you were probably like 2 years. That's wild.
1220 Aperol spritzes, or their Flora spritzes, probably.
Yeah, it was something. I think we were just there. Yeah, we were there for a pizza.
We were writing. I was writing a blog on Adira.
That's when we used to write blogs too.
Yeah,
that was a cool time.
I love it.
Fun.
Back in
that
the
was
day.
way more fun when you could write blogs.
No,
and, they actually did stuff.
Yeah, right. And they actually did stuff you could write for fun and not have.
To make a video.
Yeah,
everything.
To make a reel and do a voiceover. Like, I'm out here doing voiceovers. I'm like, guys, I can't do voiceovers anymore. I'm a dad. I'm like, I can't be out here doing voiceovers anymore.
Hey, what's up, St. Louis?
Yeah, what's up, St. Louis? We're back with it,
They're
but it's
so
like,
hard
it just pays
to
the
do.
bills. We have to. But it's so funny. I'm like, dude, I was recording it the other day, and I was trying to be quiet.
He
and
was
I was
like in our room, like.
I closed all the doors, and I'm like, babe, I
You
walked
make
out.
the pillow fort over your
walked
head.
out. I walked outside. I'm like, babe,
blanket fort.
I'm like, why the hell am I recording this voiceover? I'm like, can't somebody do this? But like, I like doing it. I love it. It's fun.
But people connect with you. I mean, they know you guys at this point. I mean, that's what's so cool about St. Louis. It's like so people first. Like, I mean, I said when I moved back to St. Louis, I felt more connected to the hospitality industry within a year than I did 7 years living in Chicago.
I mean, Chicago's so much bigger too.
I think
it's competitive too. It's way more
I think it's more competitive, and I think here people just like want to support each other.
It's
so
a different feeling.
Yeah, it's a different feeling, and like people want to know like where chefs go on their personal time, and so like it just creates a sense of community. And really, when I started Jasper Paul was like when you were first starting to see like all these collabs pop up too, where
people were really into it.
Where Nudo House is doing a ramen bowl with Lion's Choice's roast beef, and that was like, whoa, mind blown.
Like a small local business.
It was a great way.
institution that's been in St. Louis for a long time. Now it's like all the time. It's almost so many collabs.
Yeah, it's so many, and like I think they've lost their luster a little bit, but they're still fun too, and it's like it's a great way. So there are those connection points, I think, that, and I think you guys do a great job of this too, like that hospitality, yes, we think of it as like food focused, but there's so many kind of tentacles from that of lifestyle. So like whether it's
hotel, like you were saying,
or like gyms and fitness or nutrition, or that there's fashion, all these different kind of offsets of a broader lifestyle category. And St. Louis brands want to support St. Louis brands, so there's all these like cool crossovers that you can do, and we really try to like find those opportunities for clients.
So many, and there's so many trends. But I wanted to talk about like the chefs. So like in 2017, like chefs are now so popular now, but like they didn't used to be that like it used to not be like a glamorous thing to be a chef. Now chefs are like, girls like chefs, like they're like super popular, but it used to not be like that. I feel like it wasn't so chef. It wasn't so chef focused. Like if you're in 1999, nobody like care who the executive chef was at some restaurant.
Yeah.
Now it's all open concept. Why do you think that is? Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think it's still a very, if you ask a chef if it's a glamorous life, they'll probably tell you no.
Exactly.
Those hours.
But the hours and the hard work and just but I think chefs have the opportunity to be a lot more forward facing now with Instagram. They can be doing Instagram lives and showing you how they make a dish and or I mean, I think I really saw the shift happen even earlier when the Food Network started getting popular. Like now it's at the point that, I mean, I'm dating myself, but like that kids are growing up watching TikToks of how to make some, obscure cultural dish that like we maybe probably never would have heard of. But even like the Food Network era, there's a generation of kids that grew up knowing who the chefs were. Top Chef, think of all. I mean, I think Top Chef's on like it's 20 something year.
It's been on forever. When I see like commercials for a new season, I'm like, that's just still on.
I know.
It comes on at the prime time, like after the Super Bowl.
We used to watch like Rachel Ray, 30-minute meals. Like that was my time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just more visible through Instagram. They're making big followings and stuff like that.
I think they're more visible and they're out there in the community in different ways. So you are seeing that like people want to resonate with the food. The food, people that have an expendable income to be spending money on food probably are going to be targets of other different brands. So so getting in front of those audiences through the culinary world is a good way to do that. So chefs are getting these opportunities to kind of be a face for the community in a lot of different ways, and that's from those bigger brand partnerships to nonprofits. And the hospitality industry was hit the hardest, or one of the hardest, by COVID. They were the first people that were organizing these events to donate money back to get to make sure their people were taken care of.
There was a video that came out. I remember that. It was in St. Louis. Like Gerard was in it. And it was like a big video. I remember that.
Yeah, and they were immediately like, we're gonna get together. We're gonna find ways to support people. And we're gonna hopping on Zooms, and that was just so cool to see, and just like reaffirmed that like we have something special with the St. Louis community here. And I think it's not just hospitality, that extends kind of beyond to any entrepreneurial, group of businesses that like I'm really proud. Like I think everybody's proud to be a part of the St. Louis community.
So
and you want to see good people do good things and be successful. At least I do.
Using their platforms to help others, and just again create the community, the collaborations, just uplifting the growth. Like it's just always fun to see that.
No, absolutely.
Well, so I want to get back to the start of Jasper Paul and like the meaning behind the name, and just what your vision was, and how now in 7 years as you've grown and now you have 13 team members, like how everyone is executing that mission for you.
Yeah. I think at first it was kind of just figuring it out as we went along, like up until 2020 2021, we were like a team of 4 or 5. Well, I'll tell you what the change was. I had a little babe. So in 2021, I had my first child in April, and all of a sudden I was like, I need to hire like 4 people, and like, you know,
exactly
Sounds
what happened
like
to
you.
me.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Well, I used to work like 18 hours a day, and it didn't phase me at all.
Right.
I was like, this is so easy. I'll go out every night, go to every place that I'm working with, and then I'm like, oh shit, I have a baby. I'm like,
I need extra help.
now I want to stay home.
Yeah. So that was really, I think, like the catalyst of growing the team. And it changed me as a business owner. You know, you do just learn to reprioritize things and let some things go. But yeah, when I started Jasper Paul, I was the same way. I mean, it was in my living room of my apartment, and I was grinding at all times, and, you know, just slowly building the team. And, you know, my first employee was a intern, and then part-time, and then full-time, and just like slowly grew the business. And, you know, one of my Lauren Shelley, who's a partner at the business, came on about year 3. And that really helped too, just to have like someone with some senior level leadership. And yeah, we've just kind of grown from there. And I would say probably 3 or 4 years ago, we were really like, okay, we need to like define what this is. And, you know, obviously my story is this connection to the hospitality industry through my family. And like I said, my one grandpa kind of was this unintentional foodie, Jasper. And then my other grandfather, Paul, was a farmer. So, so that connection, you know, like
it sounds so good together too.
I feel like you need to
Like
talk
it
about that
sounds
more.
so good.
You need to pitch your story a little bit more.
But it's
love
weird
it.
to like
It's
talk
weird.
about.
Have Lauren do it.
Yeah.
Have Lauren pitch it.
But I also picked it because I was like, I kind of want to walk into a room and people to expect like two dudes to
Or-
walk
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Like,
That is
sure.
real.
For
And you're like,
sure.
"Hi,
In
we
this
have
world-
not only do we have one woman, we have 13
Yes,
women.
yes, we're
Yeah.
all
All
women
one
right
team.
now. That's not necessarily by like design. It's just
yeah.
kind of happened that way. Right now at least. And yeah, so like it was a very personal business to me. And I think at first I was like almost held it too tightly to me. And so now it's evolved like beyond me. It is about those other people that are executing our vision every day. So 3 or 4 years ago, we really sat down and, you know, what's our mission? What are our core values? What are we, you know, gonna, you know, what are we going to promise and deliver to our clients, but each other? And
What are the core values?
I was like, if they ask me, I better know them. So we do something. We do a daily huddle every morning. So every morning we stand up and we do a word of the day, a top priority. You pick one thing you're going to commit to getting done, a shout out to a team member, and then we have to relate that back to a core value. So we're talking about them daily, and then a moment of gratitude. So our core values are we think big and stay curious about our clients. We care deeply about our community. We lead with positivity, humility, and respect. We are the stewards of our own success, and together we succeed.
Perfect.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's fun because like every day the shout out, it
might focus on a different.
yeah, but they all in some way relate back to one of those
How long are
5
huddles?
things.
They're quick. They're usually pretty quick.
10 minutes.
Okay.
And quick, and you got to come in
Virtual or in person, no matter.
Yeah, if you're virtual, if you're working from home, you call in. If you have a meeting, you drop a video in the chat, and Slack, and you know and it's something I think the team ends up looking forward to a little bit.
100%.
And it's a good check-in, like if somebody's having an off day or I was frustrated this morning because I couldn't breathe from having the fifth cold of from my kids this year. But it's just nice to check in on each other and but constantly talking about those core values and checking ourselves of like, are we living up to this not only for our clients but ourselves? And it's just so cool to like see that play out with my team. And like I now, instead of me having to do everything, like I feel so much pride in watching them execute,
take over and do something and kill it, and then kill it,
and kill it, and just hustle, but also take care of themselves, and like finding that balance of all of those things. Like I'm just beyond grateful for them and proud to see how people grow within, their work with us. So
yeah, that's super inspiring. And like even the people on my team, they like talk to your team and they're like, well, that they do this over there. And it's got me in trouble lately. I was like, I didn't know that. I'm like, I don't like, cause you don't realize what people need because you're not in that. Like I've been in a way different life for the last 5 years that I'm like, oh, I didn't know you needed like this extra thing or this little thing that might not seem little to me or it's huge to other people. And there's all these different things.
To you, but
and you're like, and you call me out on that all the time. I'm like, what it is. But yeah, they've been hanging out with you guys too much. I was like, they're like, they work from home, whatever it is. Something I can't remember.
You just have to be sensitive and receptive to the needs of people, and you're learning, and that's all you can do is be open to learning. And
this has been an evolution, and there have been things that we've tried, and I've had to be like, that didn't work, and rein it back, and I think everybody's open to like, it's just about being transparent with people and like and over communicating, like, and I'm, trust me, like made some mistakes along the way, and like and just learning like what do people value, and asking those questions and trying to find, I like challenge myself every year, like, is there another perk that we can do that we feel like will provide value to the team? So like this year we're sending 2 people to a conference in New York, Cherry Bomb, which is a women in hospitality publication, and like they got rewarded for their work to go to this conference. Like just trying to find ways, like how are we reinvesting in the team? But when you're in build mode, it's like impossible to do that in like large scale ways. So we just like every year, like
little thing.
Don't try to do it all at once.
No, and I know, and we do.
I'm always like, talk to Caiti.
No,
I
know.
Be a great mentor.
But it's like you can't, like, it's hard to go back. So you almost want to do it incrementally because like if you give the world and you break, like, when I hired a COO and all this stuff, it's like, oh, we're gonna do all this at one time, and I'm like, then you look at it and it just doesn't. And then you're like, oh man, I remember the days when it was just me.
I know. Well, and you can't like roll it back. Like you can, I mean, you can go into things and say, hey, we're going to try this. And if it doesn't work, we are like, I think if you go into it with that expectation, but
over communicating is huge, I think.
Once you've established what that is, and hey, and I will say the few things like that we've had to put more structure around, the majority of people get why. You know what I mean? Like it's explaining the why and leading with why we're doing it, because it is to make sure everyone is taken care of, and like the sum of the group excels with whatever we've decided to put into place. But it's hard, and like, what do people want and what do people value, and like there have been things we've experimented with that have worked and some that haven't, and just like finding what that is that gets people really excited. Like one thing we talked about, I'm trying to identify like each quarter like something that I feel like the team will resonate with, and I've like heard little musings of, we have this like little back patio space that is not a patio space, and it's really ugly right now, but like I know a lot of the team members love to garden, so we're gonna build a few like garden boxes. Cute. Like stuff like that isn't related to the job at all, but
boosts morale.
If they can grab a little basil on their way home if they need to, like it's just, it's like listening to those things that maybe aren't even said, to like try to give something that will make them feel like they're valued, because they are.
If you know Tecovas, you know that they make some of the best and most comfortable Western boots around. But what you might not know is that Tecovas has a store right here in St. Louis at Plaza Frontneck. Stop into their store and you'll find the finest handmade cowboy boots, jeans, belts, cowboy hats, and even apparel for both men and women. While you shop, enjoy complimentary drinks, boot shines, custom hat and boot branding, and more. Come visit the Tecovas store at Plaza Frontneck and let them help you find your new favorite pair of boots or your first pair of boots ever. Tecovas, don't go gently.
So as we're talking about some of these things, I feel like we're kind of segueing into, we always ask the question, like, as an entrepreneur, like, what are some of the hardships? What are some of your greatest accomplishments? So like you're talking about things that are challenging, but if you want to like pin it down to something, like what would you say has been challenging for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest part of being an entrepreneur is trying to be everything for everyone. You know, they say put your own oxygen mask on for a reason on the plane, you know? Like I've really gone through bouts of struggling with that and trying to be the best wife, the best mom, the best friend, the best daughter, the best, you know,
You're
colleague.
wearing all these hats.
Yeah, and you can't be. I actually like saw a clip somebody else said something very similar on your podcast. Like, you can't be everything to everyone. And I actually had a mentor one time tell me, like, you know, if you put those things into buckets, think of that as like one pie. So you're never gonna be, you know, if you got 3 quadrants, you're never gonna be 33.3% great at all of it. You know, so just giving yourself the grace that you may be 80% in your job, that means you're probably going to be showing up 20% at home. And like having a supportive partner that understands that, I think, is a huge part of that. My husband Matt's a teacher too, so
yes,
shout out teachers.
We're like, we always joke about we're in the same boat. Like,
I know.
You know, marketing, that the hospitality
and vice
industry,
versa.
and then education.
You know, you guys have hard months too. I mean, especially with her in high school,
gosh.
like grading finals, like those are long, grueling nights sometimes. So.
What grade is
fifth grade?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is at all different levels. Each grade comes with its own challenge.
Yeah.
But like, there's times where I'm like, oh, it's like a very easy couple weeks, and then it's like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have essays. I just got 125 essays that were turned in at the same time. That's what I'm doing.
Like you
that's
look over
why,
one press release, imagine 125 of those in a row that are all different, and you have to go and proof all of those.
But it's just for a little bit of time, and then you have 6 weeks, and it's not like that, and then, you know,
but it comes
fine.
back to balance, and like balance is actually not real. There is no real balance, and not even in anybody's life. And I think the clip that you're talking about is like looking at it like a scale. It's like, okay, I'm going to show up this week, and you have to make that decision with yourself. Like when I walk into the door, when I come home, I'm going to forget everything that happened today. And I used to always come home and she's like, you're like stressed about something. And then I'm outside on the phone. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm like, I'm making that decision. And then, you know, things aren't as bad as they really are. I overthink things so much.
Because it's your business. Like, I'm sure you relate to that. Like, especially at the beginning too. Like, no one's going to take care of this. Like, you're going to take care of it or do it like you would do it. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, and you have to, and it is just setting those expectations. Like, if a client tries to call every night at 6:30, I'm going to have to say something that
I'm having dinner with my family or like, bath time
or hey, I saw that you called. I will call you tomorrow at 8:30 when I am in the office, unless it is something urgent. You know, and it's just setting those expectations with people, but that takes
a lot harder than it looks.
takes. But do you find with having a baby, like it is much easier to say no to things because you're like, this is my line.
I don't care. Like I do care. I care so much, but I care so much more about them that I'm like the little thing of like that I would used to be like stay up all night and do. I'll push it to the next day,
right?
Because I'm like I would rather just be here. But yeah, it is a lot easier to like let go of things, you know, and stuff like that. So you talked about some of the challenges, but like what is like, did you have an aha moment? Was that in 2021? Did you have that aha moment of like, okay, like this is like something real? Because like I feel like every business or every person has that like, oh my gosh, like we're on the right track. And like I feel like there had to be a moment like that in your career. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I don't know if I like ever stepped back, came, you know, out of like having my head and looked up to say like, oh, we're building something great. And then I mean maybe now like I can say that I'm definitely trying to be better about working on the business, not in the business. So I do get to like see that higher level of just like my team growing and changing. But you know, we've been around for 7 years. Yes, we have a team of 12, but you know, we work with 20-ish clients. Like it's not like we started and we're like, boom, we're going to work with 50 clients. Like, I don't want that ever to be how we grow. So it has been this gradual process that I think, like, along the way, we've just grown it very organically. You know, we're not cold pitching people to be clients. Sure. It's because this person worked with us or we did a partnership with, you know, this restaurant and they were like, hey, could you do that for us? And, you know, so it's been so organic that, like, I think it's felt just right, you know? So I don't think I've ever been like, oh man, this is something. But I I think I get little moments of that like every day, you know, and I never had this idea that I would grow the team to 12, 13 people. But now here we are. And so I'm just kind of along for the ride and see where it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the hospitality industry, there are people with really unique stories. And I think St. Louis is very much a community that resonates with, you know, organizations that give back, organizations that do fun events. So all of those things we can help with. And so yeah, it's been cool to like see how our jobs evolved and changed over the last 7 years.
It's so fun to do things and just be a part of the community. I saw you were at the festival last weekend, and that's like our favorite thing to do. And I tried; it was so packed. I tried to go down there.
I left my kids at home.
I was like,
You left the kids at home. Yep,
no,
smart.
I'm learning. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's take her.
Yeah.
We can do
We
it.
had
I
already
can
been
wear her.
to
I
2
can-
things before that, too.
I was like,
Oh my gosh, you guys are
too
we're
much.
crazy.
No. But I didn't get any oysters. So how were they? Were they
Amazing.
great?
Well, I was pregnant last year, so I was like,
See?
give me all the oysters. I'm having a beer. This is gonna be great.
Yes.
Yeah, but like that's a great example. Like Stout and Oyster Festival at Schlafly, like and I've done that now for 7 years. Like
Yeah.
they fly these shuckers in. Like those guys are like my friends at this point. Like I wanted to take the boys because I was like, Matt, I want to like show the shuckers my babies. And he
Yes.
was like, Caiti, like
Just
we're
leave 'em.
not
Yeah.
taking our
They're busy right
9-month-old who has a cold to a beer
But
festival.
you do. You're like, that's a
Thousands of people.
relationship
Yes,
that you
it-
want
it-
them to see a part
yes,
of your life.
yes,
I
exactly.
totally
Like,
get it.
but there's little moments of that all the time, like where, like Lauren Nalick at Balkan Tree Box, like when I was at home with Cam, like drops off dinner for us. Like
Yes.
it's just like I feel so like there are so many moments where like you feel so supported and loved by people in the industry, and you know, I just feel grateful that we
Yes.
like get to work with those people and get to be a part of those types of events.
Yeah. That's
And
it.
like
That's
play a big part. But like you mentioned, it's like reciprocal though. You're supporting those businesses as well, and we do the same thing. It's like you naturally support the people that support you. That's just how the world works. But your job has changed a lot. You had mentioned like now there's these influencers, and everybody wants to do this. Like you never probably thought that you were going to be messaging people on Instagram. Like tell us how do you learn how to do those things? Are you training? Are you just like, hey, let's try this, let's implement it, let's see? I mean, it's really hard to do the new services, and like then you mentioned social media. Like you probably never wanted to mess with social media. You're like, oh no, we're not too good for social media. We're PR. We're not social media. You know, it's hard.
It's just another job. It's not. I never felt like we were too good for it. It was just it required
it's a
like
different skill set.
and it requires a dedicated person. Like for the last,
you can't do both. Yeah.
During COVID, you know, a lot of clients were kind of like, we don't know. You know, everything was changing so quickly, so we were like, well, let us help with social media so we can like do something.
Yeah.
You signed up for so many more jobs.
So many more. Yes. So like our services have expanded greatly, and it's like now getting the balance right and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I like to think of like what I started in PR was media relations. You sent out a press release, you know, media would pick that up. You had national media contacts. You'd pitch them a story. Hey, you know, you're working on top 5 recipes for Mother's Day. Like we have this great recipe that you could feature, all of that. So that media relations was all that we did, you know, 10, 15 years ago. And that's changed a lot over the year. And, you know, now that's like one spoke in the wheel. So that's why it kind of evolves into PR and marketing, because we're not only doing that, we're also like doing influencer engagements. You know, we're thinking of programmatic event ideas. We're talking about partnerships. We're doing grassroots outreach. We're doing, you know, drops to area businesses to get the word out. So, yeah, it's evolved a lot. Newsletters, like I mean, just. And then finding the right partners to help us execute that. But I think us being kind of the one source to make sure whatever initiative it is flows through all those channels. Restaurants need help in that. You know, a lot of times we're working directly with the chef or the owner. Like there's not a marketing team underneath them necessarily. So
You're doing it.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. And then they're like, can you update our website? Can you print menus for us? Can you do all these? And like, yeah, it's
And we've learned to say no
Yeah.
to certain things. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of times that we'll have a conversation with a potential client and I'll say, like, you don't need to hire a PR firm. You need to like hire a salesperson. Like you need someone that's like cold calling people to, set up whatever or, book whatever it may be. So I'm always really transparent with people if I think we're the right partner or not for them. And what I feel like we could provide value for. And if I don't think we're the best fit, I'll help them, hopefully try to find somebody that is.
Yeah.
So
that takes time. I feel like that's something you also like. It used to be like yes to everything,
Oh, I've
especially
been
at the
referring people
beginning.
like crazy.
Now it's like, someone else could probably do that better, or that's not really what we're doing at the moment,
Right.
Or
Yeah, we've been referring people like crazy. But yeah, I think that feels good. It like feels so good to refer somebody. But with your business, I think that like different than ours is like you can only work with so many people in the same industry
Right.
before you kind of cap out. St.
Yep.
Louis is a very small town.
Yep.
There's only a few breweries. There's only a few coffee shops. There's only there's more than a few, but there's only like ones that are on a
Right.
scale at that
Right.
certain scale. So that's probably really hard for you to say no to some people that really want to work with you and stuff. And how do you balance like that and refer them in the right direction too?
yeah, I mean, we try to be pretty good about it. Like if we think a concept is a direct conflict, we obviously won't work with them. But also like we don't recycle ideas.
That's a good point.
If a client, if we said we're only going to work with one account that sells pasta,
Sure.
we would not be in business.
Right.
So there's lines for sure, and it may be a similar cuisine, but one may be fast casual and one may be really
Formal,
fine dining. So those are very different PR campaigns for each of those types of
Right.
clients. So and we're looking to expand into Kansas City and kind of broader Missouri. Like I think there's opportunities there. So
That's exciting.
I think eventually St. Louis, there will be okay, we feel like we've kind of saturated the market, but there's also like a lot of really cool places that have stories to tell and types of clients that I want to work with that we don't have on our roster yet. And I do still think there's more opportunity in St. Louis and working with good people, and some we'll work with for a project and then they go on and kill it. So but yeah, we've been very lucky to have quite a few long-standing clients, and I'm extremely loyal to those people that continue to support us over the last year. So
So at the end of the work day, or work however much time, let's say like a quarter, you guys do as a group, as a team, like is there something that you all do together to just, break the walls down, get out of the work mode, get into just hang out with each other? What do you guys do?
yeah, I mean, we don't have anything like formal. We started last fall, which I actually thought this morning, I'm like, I need to organize this. But we tried to do like a half-day charity day. So we did that in the fall. We're going to hopefully do it in the spring. We have a book club. We've only done one. We're supposed to have
What'd
one
you
yesterday. And we bumped it. We read Tomorrow.
I don't know that one.
Oh.
I'll have to add it to my list.
It's really good. And
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, we try to find these opportunities. Like a member of our team is having a baby. We threw a little baby shower luncheon. Like we don't have anything like formal, like, hey, it's the end of the quarter or whatever, let's do something. But we're trying to find those ways to connect to each other. Our office backs up to Larson Park and Webster Grove. So like, just like if somebody's having a day, like, hey, let's get up and like go
Team
for
walk.
a walk.
Yeah.
Like just finding ways to connect with each other outside of the office. And now I'm the old lady, so they like go and do happy hours and stuff without me, which is great.
I'll go
Like,
home to my kids.
yeah, and I go home to my kids. Like, so
You get a little bit of FOMO there. You're like, man, I wish I could go out to
I
happy
know
hour
I'm not
right
cool
now.
anymore,
I wish I could go
but
out to happy hour.
I do, but I don't. Like, I mean, I like love that. Like, I remember that. Like when you, like your colleagues are your friends, and like it's
Let's just go.
work and life is kind of all, and it's just like It's fun.
It
but
is
like
fun.
I am now at the point that I've had that time in my life and
Yeah.
like I can, be there to support them in the ways that they need to be supported by a leader of the company and then like go home to my
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, be with your
So,
family.
Yeah, there's something like truly special about like your business and other businesses in St. Louis, and I feel that way about ours. Is we have this just little community, and we only work with, like you said, 20 people, but like we have this sustainable thing that's sustaining our life. People on our team are doing exciting things. They're getting apartments, and like I never imagined that how that would feel, but it feels like so good to provide. Like not like we're like providing everything and opportunities, but it feels good to like build something that people talk about. Like people
Right.
talk about this logo all the time.
Yeah.
Like everybody in St. Louis knows us now.
They
and
do.
It's crazy. And like we don't take that for granted. Like I write like once every like 2 months I'll write like a long
I know, I
social
love when
post.
you write your
Or
post.
But like I'll be
little-
like 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, I'm just gonna write something real
Yeah.
quick. And then I started like now I'm gonna start sending out email blasts. But like I feel like I just want to build community, and we're not from St. Louis either. We're from St. Charles, and it's the same as Alton. It's 30-minute
Same
drive.
distance.
Yeah.
But like being able to create like a place where people can be creative and we can help these businesses, and we'll go to our clients' birthday parties, their kids' parties, like they'll bring us gifts. We got tons of stuff.
Yeah,
like
we just got a gift for her, like from a client.
Yeah.
It's just like you were saying, the relationships.
Yeah. It's so much more than business, and like that's
Yeah.
why I don't even look at like some people, like restaurants specifically, that's not all we work with, but they have hard winters, and like being able to help them during the winter, like, oh, it's not like that 1 month is not the end of the world for us, but if
Right.
that is the saves you from a lot of stress, sometimes it does,
Right.
and looking at opportunities. But yeah, you've just built like this incredible company,
Oh,
You
and
have done an amazing job.
Thank you, guys.
and
This is
people
sweet.
the PR people don't get enough credit for the work that you guys do. You guys do a lot of work.
But
It's crazy.
I honestly love that. Like I like
Do you though?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. It does. Like I don't need people to know that we're
Doing it.
behind it. Like
Yeah.
to your point, like seeing the client success, like is
Mm-hmm.
is
And-
reward and enough. Like and to see my team like execute that stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
getting to see all of that happen just by providing, to your point, like providing a space. Like Lauren sent me a text on the anniversary that like made me cry, but she was like, can you believe that like we get to do this? Like we, like it is. It's like
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for it, and like I
Mhm.
don't take it for granted. And the people that choose to work, I mean, it's a choice for them to work with us.
Right.
And yeah, when you hear that like an ad that you helped them run on social, like helped it drive,
Mhm.
2 times as many event bookings than they had the year before, or that a location that was kind of suffering is now doing okay, or a silly reel pops off, or
Mhm.
they're mentioned in a national publication and then they saw people, come in because of that. Like that is really that in and of itself is cool. Like I
Yeah,
don't have to
that's
be
it.
I don't have to be associated
Yeah.
with it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Humility.
Oh,
Mhm.
lead with
Humility.
humility and
Lead with
respect.
humility,
No.
There
No.
it is. Ooh, sounds
but
familiar.
but that's why it's part of our core values,
Right.
because I think sometimes people have this perception of PR people like the Samantha Jones of Sex and the City, where
Yes.
it's like hello,
Yes,
and
yes.
and like that's just not
Mhm.
that's
That's not
not
how you roll,
how
yeah.
we roll.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
That's how I like to think too. Always stay humble. That's always like my biggest,
you tell me
my
that all the
always
time.
biggest piece of advice.
Do
Stay
you
humble.
do you find with her being a teacher that she helps you communicate to your team better
Mhm.
than you
100%.
can
I want
in
her to work
communications?
here. I want her to work here.
He's always
I've
like,
said that. I was
when?
like, I'll
I'm
match.
like, never,
I'll
never.
I'll-
I love my job.
But I was even saying like I'll like literally take your salary and give you a little bit more.
I'm
you come work for
around in
us.
the
and-
summer doing
Yeah.
some stuff, but like really at this point, like from when Bucket List started, like, and it was us more so, I just am not, this is it. I just do the pod now, or like this year I did not plan the Locals Choice Party because
Yeah.
I was pregnant
Yeah.
and tired.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll do that. But otherwise, like, just like let
Mhm.
people do the thing.
But she does help me.
And
Like I ask
he
her.
tells me stuff and I'm like,
I'm
okay.
very reactive, and I just stop and I wait a day, and then I like talk to her, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that, or maybe I should say this, and like, yeah, she does, and then she proofreads like a lot of the stuff that goes
Proofread
out
everything.
I
Yeah.
love it.
because
Yes.
I'm just like, hey,
English
I'm
look
his
at this.
publicist.
Yeah,
I'm
there you
like,
go. There you go.
We need to fix this.
But
This
I
isn't
mean,
right.
I find like Matt is the greatest communicator that I know. As a
Yes.
everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's so weird.
It's
like
some training or
a
some-
teacher, like you, how do you guys relate professionally? And I'm like, he's
And
a better communicator, like, and helps guide me through like how to have a lot of hard conversations better than anyone I've met professionally, like in my industry. It's funny. Like, I feel like it is a good balance.
And I think
It
there's a
is.
balance because you don't want, like, as cool as it seems, to just like think that we could work together every day. Like, I want to come home and like tell her what happened at work and vice versa. And like, you know, a lot of the people you work with, there's a lot of married couples and a lot of families, and it's just like it's so much like going on. It's so hard. But yeah, it's cool to have those stories. But yeah, you definitely like keep me
in
on
check.
track. Yeah,
I do.
for sure.
You're welcome, team.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But I think like that's something we do no matter what. Like, and Matt like has been so good about this. Like, we come home and he's like, "How was your day?" And I ask him. Like, we always like recap our day, the kind of first thing, even if the boys are running around and Jude's being crazy. Our 2.5-year-old is wild, but you know, it's good to have, like, you need that partner and like to check in. And I think without him like kind of forcing that in the beginning, like I would have, if I had a bad day, kind of shut down. And like he doesn't like let me do that. And I think it's been so good.
He can
to
read you.
Yes.
He's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's nice that you guys recap. We started doing that more because like sometimes we live so fast, and like it's like, oh, she'll hear about something we did, and like I didn't even know about that. I'm like, we used to tell each other everything.
That's the crazy part.
And I would
is,
celebrate
like, the
every
growth.
little client. She's like, I didn't even know you signed that new person. And I'm
know
like, oh yeah,
this.
we've been working with them for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even think about it
because
I already talk about it with everybody, and then I come home and I try not talk about work whatsoever at home. But it's like with our phones, these like things like your work is always here. It's always here. I'll see a social post, I'll text. I'm like, I can't text them. Let me just go fix this real quick. And because like it's
boundaries.
Just like,
you gotta
but I'll see something, I'm like, why did I not see that? And then
I really try when I get home, and we work 8:30 to 4:30 because I want to be home by 5 o'clock with my kids.
Yeah, me too.
And from 5 to 7:30, I do not look at my phone.
That's amazing.
And like sometimes,
but then after that, you do.
Sometimes
When
all
your kids are
sometimes
getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah, after the kids go to.
She said 5 to 7:30.
Yeah.
She didn't say all night.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
good hours. Those are good. Those are crucial hours.
Of devoted time.
But then after. And I will look at my phone.
Sure,
I'm saying, but I'm
not
not.
that you're not-
And I'm not perfect at it. I will say. Matt's probably.
But you're more
Matt's gonna listen to this. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, sure. But I really do try to do that and like be present with my kids at the time, especially. And then, you know, if I have to get on and do something at night, I will. But I would say like I do that maybe once a week. I'm just like trying to like.
Yeah.
It's like. You know, work, you can always come back to it. There's just moments with family that you're never going to get back, and time. So it's just like, you know. Just
Lauren and I call it like mom work too. Like it's all this, like, I don't know, like something turns on in your body when you become a mom that like you can get 8 hours of work done in like 3.
Yep, you make it happen. You make it happen.
Several moms have said that on the podcast. They're like, I just got more efficient. That's it. Like I'm doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Figure it out.
Yeah, moms are up here if you guys are watching. So it is the STL Bucket List show. We all have babies that we got to get back to. I mean, we have a baby in the studio. We didn't even say anything to the people that are listening.
Special
guest. Baby attached to my chest right now.
Yeah, so tune in on YouTube, watch the video. We're trying to get the subscribers up.
Sleeping.
But between work, between babies, between all this stuff that you have going on, everybody has their idea of an STL. Hi, Mila.
She's so hot right now.
I know. She gets warm when she's on your chest. Hi, boo boo.
She was laughing earlier. She was like,
I hope I hear her in the episode. I can't wait.
I love it.
So yeah, we have a baby in the studio, but I want to hear your STL bucket list. Everybody has their idea of an STL bucket list. It's your favorite things to do. Maybe it's parks, maybe it's events, maybe it's just
places
simply
to eat,
shop, all that.
Yeah.
So
you know the drill.
Okay, I did plan ahead.
Yeah.
I texted her one question. I said, "This is what I will ask."
Yes. Okay, so I did write my talking point for this. So I said
talking point.
Well, and I was like, how can I work in as many clients as possible? But also some non-clients. But I would say coffee, a blueprint on Watson specifically. I used to live in South City. We were kind of neighbors.
Yeah.
And I miss.
What do you get from there? I love their matcha.
Yeah, I get a cortado usually
Mhm.
or a cold brew. I mean, I'll get whatever.
Yeah.
That is a really cool location.
Yeah, I love that
the garage
location.
door.
Great meeting location too.
Mhm.
And then so this is my non-kid bucket list. Probably brunch at Bowood. And then like hopping around Maplewood with beers like Schlafly, side project, maybe get a slice of pizza and a beer at Pizza Champ, side
Mhm.
project. And then dinner, I would say El Molino de Sureste. If you guys haven't been
No,
there,
never
oh my
been.
gosh, you have
I've
to
been
go.
there.
It's so
It's
cool.
right by my house.
Yeah,
like
and
it's right
yeah.
down.
Yeah,
on
it's
Gravois,
right down,
Like
yeah.
almost like you're heading to
Yeah.
Gravois from Kings Highway. I didn't even know it was over there. I'm
yeah.
like, dude, I haven't been. We were out and
Yeah.
when all that PR stuff. was going on.
Super interesting, like regional Mexican fare, and that or Indo or Sado,
We went
Nick
there.
Bognar,
Mhm.
or Louis. We love the bar at Louis.
Yeah.
I'll take a bar seat over
Really? Like
a
a
table
table?
any
Okay.
day.
We just sat at the sushi bar at
Yeah.
Sado. That was our first date
That was
night.
my like.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time
Yeah.
sushi in 10 months.
The
Yeah.
sushi bar, El Molino has a great bar too.
Okay.
Sit at the bar if you go there. And then Louis, yeah, always.
Mhm.
And Louis, we walked in a week or so ago, and I mean, you would have thought we won the lottery because we got to sit at the bar,
bar
and it was
seat.
just
Did you
like
even
on a
walk in? You're
whim.
like, let me just try. And
Yeah,
then-
we were like, let's just try and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, I
That's
love
crazy. That's
that.
risky.
It was.
That's non-kid bucket
And,
list.
and
'Cause
yeah,
you-
and yeah, you have one date night,
Yeah,
and we're like,
let's try.
Well, we went and got it, and this is also on the list, but get a drink at None of the Above if you haven't been
Yeah,
there
we've
at
been
City
there,
Foundry. Gerard Crafts new, the underground.
speakeasy.
Yeah, I
Speakeasy.
forgot the name.
Yes,
oh, I'm
none of
thinking
the
of the
above.
initials. Hello.
Noda.
You're calling,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
calling it the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah, I was like,
name.
that's what we saw
Noda
Brett.
for short.
Yes.
Noda for the M
Yeah, it was
Yes.
fire. Those chips. Those
yes.
chips.
Oh, yeah, the
my
chips
Oh
God.
my
God.
god!
We
And
want
the
those right now.
container.
So I know
they
that
come
looks like a
in.
potato chip. Yes.
It's so cute.
So special. Also Lazy Tiger. Our
Love
buddy
Lazy
Tim
Tiger.
Wiggins.
That's my fave.
Great. And then kid list, brunch at the Parkmore. Sussin Park. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's the cutest place in South County way, like kind of past Afton.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful, huge park, but they also have like this area that has like every farm animal, and you can like
That sounds
feed the
familiar.
ducks, and Jude loves it.
Wow,
So love that
okay.
place. Balkan Tree Box for lunch. We get Balkan Tree Box to go a lot.
Mhm.
That's one great thing that's come out of the pandemic is all these businesses that
To
figured out
go,
like
yeah.
how to
easy
do
online
to go.
order where you
yeah.
don't have to call.
Yep.
You just online,
Yep.
boom, pick it up.
Online order,
Yeah.
pick it up. And
Park.
then dinner, like Mission Taco Joint, or like I said, we live right by Larson Park. Live and work. Our building is at the end of my street.
That's so nice. Do you walk to work?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Larson Park is this cute little hidden gem park behind our house that we love in Webster. Shopping wise, Fourth and Home is a home goods store in Webster. I think I'm Amy's like number one customer because I go there for any like gift for anything. I think every member of my team for like something big has gotten a Fourth and Home gift. And then Descendant, which is also in Webster. Julia's like curates the best, like really simple pieces. And that's like my post baby goal is to like have clothing that I'll like wear for a long
Yes,
time and not
yes.
just like buy fast stuff that that I want to get rid of it in a year. So
Yep.
That's your Webster bucket list. There's a lot of Webster. in
I
there.
know. Well, I live and work there.
Yeah,
It's kind
that's
of
what she
hard.
lives.
Maybe
like-
we'll do one on the social post. We'll do like a Webster themed one, so then you can like just
Okay.
like talk about your neighbors and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many great places, and it's like hard to pick, a favorite. Like, but like, I mean, with kids, a lot of Friday nights we're like ordering in somewhere.
Order in,
yeah,
Take a walk.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
yeah,
Mhm.
just
I get that.
the simple things. But we just had a like picnic in Tower Grove Park and got sandwiches at Gelateria.
Yeah.
If you haven't gotten their sandwiches, oh my gosh, so
my
good.
cousin Danielle told me about it, and I'm like, I didn't even know they did
Yeah.
sandwiches there. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought it was just an ice cream place.
Yeah.
And I went on the back courtyard and ate one of their
Yeah, that
focaccia
back little
sandwiches.
courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that too. Like go pick up food on South Grand and like go to Tower Grove
yeah.
Park. Like,
That's-
we still try to, even though we're in Webster, like try to
Go
come to
back
the
home.
city.
Go back.
Yeah.
Go back to your old.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to
Stomping
do. We
grounds.
did the art museum. That was like one of our first dates with her, and then
Yep.
that's why I said I'm not like everybody's like, oh, you're MK, like your life, like you're not gonna do anything fun. I'm like, now we can just do all the things we used to do that aren't
It's
as
better.
fun as they used to, and now they're more fun because like
Yeah. And I wish I would have done more when they're little
Mhm.
because like, and everyone always is like, yeah, just wait till they're running around and it's kind of
it's true.
Yeah.
They said this is
Like,
the easy stage. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, this is the easy stage.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
It
kidding.
Yeah.
is easy.
I know, but people say that. I'm like, why would you say that?
yeah. I know. But when you can just like wear them and go do all the fun
Go
things
do the
still.
This will be a big
like-
summer
I mean,
for
I
us.
tried
This
to
will be a
do the
big summer for us.
Schlafly festival. Didn't work out, but we walked down the street to Tapped.
Oh
We
yeah.
went there, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I still got a beer.
Yeah.
I tried the Tim Pilsner or the. That's not
I
right.
don't know.
Tim Parker, the
Oh,
Pilsner
oh,
beer. I
yeah.
tried that, so you know
Yeah.
the Tim Pilsner. But you know, it's
The
just
Tim
things
Pilsner.
are
Shout out, Tim.
different. Things
I
are
know.
different. You can still do
Well,
it.
Caiti, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you guys for
we're
having me.
running a little bit over, so I appreciate your
Oh,
time.
No, of course.
And guys, just keep listening to the show, support the show. We're gonna keep putting out content. Marissa's gonna try to be back. This might be our best
see.
episode this year, and far as listens, we're gonna track it.
We'll
and we're gonna see.
Do
Um,
it. Break the internet. No,
I'm
yeah.
back.
So we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.